This is round 3 of Ragadorn Alehouse Brawl, starting with the movement phase as usual. Landlords are going to hit people up for gold. So Serving Girl 1 is going to move over to Lone Wolf and ask for some gold. She's going to roll 0 to 6. She gets a gold piece. She gets a 6. She gets a gold piece. She's up to 3 gold pieces now. Who else can hit someone up for gold? How about this landlord here? She'll move over to Adventurous and ask for some gold. She rolls a 9. She gets no gold from the Adventurous, which kind of tracks. Serving Girl 1 is going to move up to the Magician, ask for some gold, and she gets a 1, so she gets 1 gold piece. So Serving Girl 2 now has 2 gold pieces. Those are all unofficial rules. It's just something that I do to sort of give structure to what the landlord can do. And the next one is the Magician. Now, she has not done anything with anyone. She's not been threatened. She hasn't had any real reason to do anything. But, I mean, I need her to do something. She's trying to get out of town. She's trying to get 20 gold crowns for the coach fare back up to Duranor. So, because she knows someone is after her. She's already searched this table, so she's just gonna hop over to this table. Maybe that table. Yeah. 1, 2. And then she'll search that table. Oop. She'll search that table by drawing a loot card. And she finds the large diamond. That's gonna be a problem for the Adventurous because the Magician now has her large diamond worth 30 gold pieces, and that's just going to be difficult to manage. So in a multiplayer game, obviously that would just sort of be up to the players to figure out, and in a solo game I'll have to figure something out. Herb Warden, he's down here by the gaming table. The druid has been asleep, but I believe he's going to wake up on this turn. So the question is going to be whether the Herb Warden wants to move away from the druid or stay close to the druid and continue to fight. And I think it just makes sense for him to continue to fight, to be honest. So I think he's not going to move. Next up is the Adventurous. I'm going to have her move because she's got a 6 movement speed and she needs to put more distance, all the more distance between her and the knight. So she's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way over off screen. There she is. And she's going to search this bar. And, I mean, we know that she can't find the gold diamond, or the large diamond. She doesn't know that. She has found some Laumspur, which gives her +4 endurance. So I'm going to have her drink that straight away to recover 4 endurance, which must be very comforting to her. She's back up to 16 endurance out of her original, 22 or something? 24. Still not doing great, but at least she's got a little bit more endurance now. Now she also does have 10 gold crowns that she found elsewhere and the 12 that she started with. So she's got 22 gold crowns. So if she keeps looking for gold, she might be able to buy that diamond off of the Magician to satisfy her objective. Okay, the druid has been asleep, but the effects now wear off. I'm going to have him drink his elixir of life for a +8 endurance. He discards that after drinking it, so he is now up to 17 endurance. The mercenary is over here. He needs to kill the ranger and the magician. So he's going to move up to the ranger. And conveniently, there's the magician right. If he can just clear that whole row of people, he'll be doing perfectly. The knight now has a secondary objective to find the Hellghast for Lone Wolf. His primary objective, of course, is to get the Adventurous. I'm trying to think of how he can kind of combine those two goals. I mean, he could swing by the druid, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, and attempt to speak to the druid. The druid obviously does not want to speak. The druid is being threatened by the Herb Warden. I think this is a contentious encounter. He wants to brush aside the knight. The knight really wants to talk to him to determine whether he is a Hellgast. I don't know how you determine whether someone's a Hellgast, but I assume it's like an undercover cop. If you're a Hellgast, you have to tell me. And just for the record, I'm pretty sure that's not true of undercover cops, so don't use that logic. But anyway, so he'll talk to the druid, or he'll try to, and the druid will resist. So I'm going to do this as combat, but no one's going to take damage. So the knight has a combat, and I'll just use their base combat. I won't give them any bonuses. Knight has 16, and the druid has something like 12. So that's a difference of 4 in the knight's favor. I'll roll dice. 2 under the column of 4. The attacker, so in this case, the knight, gets a success rate of 3, whereas the defender gets a success rate of 6. I'm going to say that means that the druid is not in conversation with the knight. Now it's the ranger's turn. As I've said, there's no rules for opportunity attacks, so the ranger can actually move away, which I think he'll do. He'll just move away. 1, 2, 3. Why not? And I think, well, he's got a bow, so he doesn't need to grab anything. So yeah, I guess that's what he's done. And now it's the merchant's turn. Again, the merchant is down here by the gaming table. No reason for him to leave the gaming table. The lone wolf is over here. He's still looking for the Hellgast, so I think he'll move. Well, he's already talked to the mercenary, hasn't he? Yeah, he has. He needs to get someone else on board. Although I guess he's got the knight on board. So I guess what he'll do... Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have him decide randomly a suspect. So I'm going to roll a d10 and count in initiative order who that would target. So he just rolled a 9. Wait, he's 9. The lone wolf is 9. I guess I'll re-roll that then. 7, there we go. 7, 8, 9. The ranger. That's the ranger. The ranger is the Hellgast. Okay, so that's surprising is what that is. Okay, so he has decided that the ranger is likely the Hellgast, which bizarrely is exactly correct. And so he is going to move towards the ranger. He has a movement of 5, so he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to be next to the ranger, and he's going to probably try to attack this guy. Wow, that was really bizarre. Next up is the missile phase, which is the point where you can throw something at one another. I don't see anyone needing to throw anything, although the adventuress could pick up something and throw it at the knight. I didn't have her pick something up, which is stupid. I'm pretty sure I've done this before. But anyway, what we will do is have the ranger shoot an arrow again at the mercenary. Rolling for the ranger. 0. 0 in this game is bad. It's the lowest result. It's not a 10, it's a 0. So he does not succeed in hitting his target. Now his secondary objective right now is to use the gaming table. He was persuaded by one of the serving girls to use the gaming table. I think it's fair to say that that is no longer his secondary objective. There's just too much going on in his life for that to be his secondary objective. So I'm relinquishing that card. That's back on the table for the serving girls. That's the missile phase. Next is the combat phase. Well, certainly Lone Wolf is going to go into combat with the ranger. Lone Wolf has a +4 to his combat when attacked by someone else, so that does not apply here. So he does have a combat of 18. The ranger has a combat of 15 as a ranger. Now, the ranger has a choice here. He can reveal that he is the Hellgast and fight with a combat of 20, or he can wait, fight at rating of 15, and then reveal that he's a Hellgast upon defeat. So obviously it behooves the ranger to play as himself initially, because he's got 24 endurance, or I think, has he taken any damage? No. Yeah, he's got 24 endurance. Lone Wolf has 34, which is not bad, but it's not as much as 24 plus the endurance of the Hellgast. And the endurance of the Hellgast is 30. So functionally, this player has 54 endurance. That seems a little bit overpowered to me, but what I'm going to argue that the Hellgast can only be damaged. I mean, I'm not arguing this. This is in the rules. The Hellgast can only be killed by a magical weapon. Now, Lone Wolf has a magic spear, so he can kill the Hellgast. So while if he's fighting this ranger and he's doing damage with his magical spear, well, obviously the magical spear would do damage because that's how that works. But then if someone else does damage, if someone else fights him and does not do damage, then that obviously means that the ranger is not a ranger, right? He can only that he's some kind of magical creature that can only be damaged by magical weaponry. I'm going to have him uncover the Hellgast if he sees the difference between the results of a magical weapon and a non-magical weapon. Until then, I'm going to assume that the ranger is able to keep up his disguise as a ranger. Lone Wolf is doing the attacking here. We roll, and he rolls a 9. The difference between their combat, 18 to the ranger's 15, is 3 in the Lone Wolf's favor. So a 9 in the 3 column means that the attacker takes 0 damage and the defender, the ranger, takes 14 damage. That's a pretty good chunk of his endurance. So that knocks the ranger down to 10 endurance. So it's not going to take long, I don't think, actually, for him to reveal himself as a Hellgast at that rate. That was a very good roll. That's the end of the combat phase. No, it's not. What am I talking about? The Herb Warden wants to attack the Druid, for sure. I don't know why I'm doing it in this order. I guess it doesn't really matter, the combat order. Like, I should be moving in... Yeah, it does matter. What am I talking about? I don't know why I started with the Lone Wolf. He should have been last in combat. Starting back in initiative, Magician isn't attacking anyone. She's over there. Yeah, she can't attack anyone. She could have thrown something at the mercenary. She should have taken a missile attack, actually. I don't know why she didn't. She also has a spell book, a magic wand rather. She has a magic wand that can stop any player from moving for 2 turns. Well, I don't know what order I'm doing this in. This is mayhem. But I'm going to say that the mercenary has now gained 2 restrained conditions. He cannot move physically for 2 rounds. At the same time, the magician is going to throw a dagger at the mercenary. She is 2 squares away from the mercenary. All she needs to do is roll a 4. She rolls a 3, so the dagger just flies off into the tavern. Does not hit the mercenary, who is completely frozen. Okay, so that was a retroconned missile round. Then the Lone Wolf did his combat out of turn. And now we're going over to either the Druid or the Herb Warden. The Herb Warden comes first in initiative, so it is the Herb Warden's chance to attack the Druid again. The Druid has a 12. Now, he can actually use that sleeping spell again if he wants to. He can use it 2 times. I think that would make sense. I think it would make a lot of sense for him to do that. But that is the final time he gets to do that. So he discards that card. I'll put 2 sleep tokens on the Druid's card, and they're pretty equally matched. The Herb Warden has 12, the Druid has 12 combat, but the Druid is now asleep, so he's been knocked down to 0, so it's an 11 between the combat skills with the Herb Warden, to the Herb Warden's favor. So the Herb Warden is going to roll, got an 8. With an 11 difference, works out to the attacker taking 0 damage, which makes a lot more sense than previous combat between them. And the defender is killed outright. So that's the end of the road for the Druid. Anyone else for combat? No, I think that's it. I'm not forgetting anything, right? Yeah, no. Okay. So next phase is the gaming phase. And that's the merchant. So I think I'm going to roll his guess first. And he's guessing a 9 again. You know what? I'm going to re-roll that because I think he would bet 0 gold pieces if he, yeah, I can't, I shouldn't be rolling a d10, obviously. What I need to do is really roll a d8, right? Because, yes, that is what I need to do. I'm going to grab a d8. Here we go. All right, this is better. 3. He's guessing a 3. And how much is he betting on his 3? He's betting 1 gold? Well, that's not possible. You can't bet 1 gold. So he'll bet 2 gold. And then the croupier will roll his dice. And he got a 4. Oh, that's exciting. So a 4 is 1 over 3. So is 1 more than 3. So the merchant actually gets twice, not 4 times. If he'd guessed 4, he'd get 4 times his gold, his bet. But in this case, he bet close enough that he gets twice his gold back. So he has just earned 4 gold pieces, which I believe is exactly what he has lost in the previous rounds. Yes, that is. So he's back up to 20 gold pieces. So he has broken even. If he walks away from the table right now, which would be the responsible thing to do as a gambler, he's here to win. Specifically 50 gold pieces or something ridiculous like that. I don't know how he'll ever do that. Not at a gambling table. The merchant is the hardest one to play. He just wants the 50 gold, specifically at the gaming table. Oh no, he said, or by any other means. But he's only a 10 combat, so I mean, even if he tries to fight for this, it's not going to go well for him. Now he could move on the next turn and like search an object. You know, I could have him do that. Maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. I think he might be having fun at the table though. So that's it for round 3. Thanks for watching.